I'd like to thank RGA and Verizon. It's been a really wonderful experience for us. So, as Gene said, my name is Derek Owen. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of ScoreStream. ScoreStream is a social network and crowdsourcing platform for high school and local sports. For decades, communities across the country have come out each week to cheer for the youth in their neighborhood as they competed on the field of sports against other teams from other communities. When I was a kid growing up, the coverage for that was through local media. But with the consolidation of media and the rise of the internet, that's been very difficult to do. So we came up with a clever idea. We were inspired by the traffic application Waze, which uses crowdsourcing to be able to find the best way to go through traffic and where the speed traps are. And we felt that there was an opportunity to take that same sort of approach and use it for local sports. So what is this crowdsourcing nonsense? We have a smartphone application that allows fans to submit scores, photos, videos, and chat when they're at a game. We also built a CMS that many media partners use. And then finally, we data mine social media. All of that content comes through on a real-time basis, and we do things around algorithms and machine learning and natural language processing to determine if the scores are right, because a lot of our clients have no sense of humor if the scores aren't right. And so to highlight a couple of those partners, I'd like to talk about Sinclair. So Sinclair is an investor in ScoreStream, but they also have our scores, photos and videos on 177 websites, and we also power 200 on-air tickers. So again, that score has to be right. After a lot of diligence, the Associated Press this year announced us as a partner where they use our platform to be able to submit scores. So if you want to see your team score on a Friday night on the next day's paper on Saturday, you can use ScoreStream to get to the Associated Press. With iHeartMedia, we're taking all of this data and we're creating daily high school sports reports for 47 markets, and we hope to extend that to about 100 in the coming year. But these are just a few of our partners. We work with pretty much every broadcast station group in the country, other radio station groups like Cumulus, and a lot of the major newspaper groups like Gatehouse and Tronc and others. So what does that look like? Across the whole week, we cover 13,000 games. If you download the ScoreStream app tonight, there's probably about a 95% chance that I have your high school football score from last week. And if you want to see how you're doing in the playoffs tomorrow, use the app to check it out. With this much data, there's some fun things you can do. So here's an example of what the experience is like for a consumer on a Friday night. With ScoreStream, if I'm at a game, I don't need ScoreStream to tell me what's happening there. I already know it's there. I'm there at the game. But with ScoreStream, you can look at all the games in your area. You can see who you're going to face in playoffs next week. And if you happen to catch a really awesome clip, you can use our effects to be able to highlight that and post it out to social media. One of our fascinating deals was with Snapchat. We've been working with Snapchat for 2 years now. And on every Friday night at about 5,000 high schools, if you're within 500 meters of the 50-yard line and you take a snap, one of those filters will be the scores of the team at that point in time with the colors. We think that's a really cool idea. So I talked a lot about football in high school, but we don't just do that. We have a partnership with the NFL flag, so we do youth sports, we do JUCO, we do lower division college, NAIA, D3. Right now we're getting a lot of traction in the UK and Germany. And all of this is built on a strong technology platform that we think is best in breed and there's nothing like it. And to that end, I'd like to announce tonight that we closed our Series A, and one of our new investors is Intel Capital. So some of the people on my team originally said, Intel Capital, don't they make chips? But in the last several months, Intel has announced a 10-year deal with the IOC, a deal with the NFL, and this week with the NBA. So we're super excited to have them involved. I've talked a lot about technology, but really at the core of what we're trying to do is create a next-generation sports media company. And we think that the kind of experience my 15-year-old would like to have is going to be real-time, personal, local, and probably 30-second clips, not a whole football game. TV stations don't send helicopters out to check traffic anymore. They use applications like Waze. We think we're doing the same thing for local sports. And if you'd like to find out more about it afterwards, come over and see me. Thank you.